Oh, nice. Wow, great start.
Oh, always. We get a lot of really positive feedback for all the burps on the show, mostly from a couple degenerates on YouTube, but people like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, actually,
Is that
out of all the comments that we get, most of them are about the burps, and they're very positive.
I failed to burp at the belch contest, actually.
I know.
You and like 8 other people, though.
But Jeff, at least you didn't throw up like Zach Hurt did.
I missed all that. I missed the throwing up.
We hosted a beer chug and burp contest down at the Trinidad Festival that we were all at.
And we did record it.
Yes, it's very good. It's not very good for audio, but it's great for YouTube. The video is fantastic. And somebody, not only while they were chugging their beer, spilled it all over the front of their shirt. The entire thing.
It was,
Then
he
when they
spilled
went
half
to-
of it at least.
Then
yeah.
they went to burp, and they literally blew up chunks.
Yeah, it was
I missed that.
all in a funeral home, by the way. This
Yeah, it was in a funeral home.
Yeah, it was all pretty fun. Welcome to the Rotating Tap podcast. My name is Corey David.
I'm Steve Vanderplug.
And we are at an amazing place in Loveland, Colorado. This place is very near and dear to our hearts. A lot of it has to do with the fact that not only do they have amazing beers, but they also run a very, very good comedy show here. So, guys, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about what you do.
This is Verboten Brewing, by the way, is where we are. In case anybody was, we're just here at a corner in Loveland.
We got a lot of breweries in this town.
I
beer and
got
comedy.
sidetracked. I got sidetracked.
Oh, no worries. We would have got around to it.
Yeah, we would have figured it out.
I'm Josh Grenz, head brewer and owner of Verboten Brewing. We've been around for a little over 8 years now in downtown Loveland.
That's a hell of a long time. Were
Yeah.
you guys like the first ones here?
No, we were the third, fourth.
Really? There
fourth
was that much
brewery
going
in
on up here?
town.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Grimm Brothers
Are
was
they
the
all
first.
still here?
Yeah,
Nice.
Big Beaver, Ale Works, Loveland Ale Works. We didn't know that they were in planning about the same time we were.
Yeah.
They beat us by about 5 months.
Okay, but it's not
And
that big of a
open it,
town.
so,
This is like
yeah.
there's a lot of brewers here in business for such a small little town.
I think we're number 12 in the nation per capita for
Really?
breweries. Yeah. Fort Collins is 11.
How are you on meth? Where do you guys stack up on that?
Pretty low, actually. Weed
Yeah,
is.
you got to go over to Milkenden for that.
This is the one town in Colorado where weed isn't legal yet. I mean, it's not. You can't purchase it recreationally.
Oh, it's one of those prude towns?
In the
Yeah,
city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no dispensaries.
No dispensaries.
No wonder there's so many
You can
breweries.
get CBD and kratom or whatever, but
Still got to buy it behind a Wendy's from a guy in a two-tone Dodge Neon like the good old days.
or just drive to Fort Collins, basically.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. It's
yeah,
still
yeah.
just kind of funny, right?
It is weird.
It's strange to me to go back. I am from New York, and it just got legalized there. But to go back home and to even think about buying weed there, I'm like, I could actually get in trouble for this. That's kind of strange. That's not a life I've
I'm
had
from
to live in
Indiana,
a long
and
time.
you can't do it.
Yeah. And who's that majestic voice on the other end?
Oh,
of the
Jeff
microphone?
Albright. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone.
Comedian extraordinaire.
Beer tender here at Verboten Brewing. Love it. It's a great place.
Yeah.
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 You run the comedy show.
Yeah, that's kind of how I met everybody here. Started a comedy show, and then they were needing a beer tender during COVID reopening, and I put my name in the hat and got the job.
Nice. Congrats.
Put
Way
my-
to go.
Put my name in a
Find
hat.
a job.
In a literal hat. It's like
Literal
the bucket.
hat.
It's like
Yeah.
the bucket list for thick skin. They're like,
And the loser is.
But it's great. I've always wanted to work at a brewery, and I've worked at a lot of beer-themed bars, but they didn't brew. But now to work at an actual brewery, it's really cool. Really cool to just see the operation.
yeah. Sometimes if you drink enough at one establishment, they'll just give you a job.
They just give you a job.
That was my first
Here's some
bartending
keys.
job. They were like, "You're here often enough. Do you want to get paid?"
There's like a fine line though,
We
where
seem
if
to
you're
have a lot
there,
of free time. Which
if you're there too often, drinking too much, they're like, "Listen, we love you and your money, but we're not going to hire you. No, thank you."
Oh man, have you guys ever had the types of folks that they're regulars enough that they feel like they have decision-making power in what happens with your business? Have you ever had any of those folks?
yes, we have quite a few.
Especially during COVID.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're like
And,
they're the ones
yeah.
trying to tell you.
You
how
know what you need to
operate
do.
everything. Yeah. Everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I remember
Monday morning brewer.
there was a particular customer that like I could feel her eyes on me as I wiped every table. Like she had to see it done properly.
Uh-huh.
And I love her. She comes in
Maybe
all the
she was
time.
just checking you out, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You
It
gotta.
looks like you've
Maybe,
been-
maybe.
looks like you've been working out, dude.
I just haven't been eating. That's it.
Well, you should have a mask on, to be fair. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, just this mysterious beard peeking out of peeking out of a mask like it's a squirrel trying to escape.
Well, that's been weird too. There have been people the first couple shifts without masks. I could see people not like they. Who is that? Like Because they never saw me
It
without
is
the
very
mask on.
alarming.
Yeah.
It is very alarming.
I got it trimmed yesterday.
It's a great equalizer, the mask, makes everybody pretty attractive. And then it's ultimately decision-making time whenever you figure out how to take it off or when to take it off. Yeah. Have you guys had a lot to deal with that? Because that's one of the things that we've noticed with doing reviews. We do like bad reviews on the show where we read everybody's like Google and Untapped reviews and stuff. And the amount of bullshit that people would get during the pandemic about masks and about whether or not you're sheeple for basically doing what's asked of
That
you.
reminded me. I have a joke I'm going to try tonight about sheeple. Great, I got to write that down.
Yeah, please do.
Sheeple are great. I like sheeple.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you guys dealt with like a bunch of all that BS. Like, how did you guys navigate
It wasn't too bad. We did get a call from the county that someone complained that people weren't wearing masks in here.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, no, like we're like super strict. Occasionally it happens, someone gets up, goes to the bathroom, forgets. I've done it.
Yeah,
I did it
yeah,
during shutdowns. You get up, go to the bathroom. Oh,
Yeah, of
I don't have
course.
my mask on.
And we
Well,
had-
I'm already here. I'm not going to go back
It's
now.
a real power move. You can flex on somebody. Like, put on your mask. And you're like, oh my god.
We had some eyes on us too because we were the first place in Larimer County to get to open
Oh, okay.
when the level
When
up
the level
program.
up.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Who'd you have to finger to get?
No,
that?
we just they just walked. I was working. I opened and they just walked in one day and like, you guys are good to go. You can have customers. But there's like city
And then in
council
came the
people.
newspaper.
Yeah, and then the newspaper. Yeah,
And
it
the
was
Chamber of Commerce.
Just a
Congratulations, you're the first one.
Just a COVID fairy that's just walking around town telling the businesses they can and can't open.
wild. That's what they were doing.
You guys were actually requested too. I'm glad we set this up as quickly and easily as we did. Somebody reached out to our Facebook and they're like, "Yo, we would love if you guys did an episode with Verboten." So
That's great.
it was like 2 weeks ago. Here we are.
Yeah, listener, here we are for
We're
you.
here for you.
Thank
yeah,
you.
We're here with you, drinking beers on your behalf. So, how long ago did you guys actually start doing the comedy night here? Because it's one of the most. I don't know if you know this or not, Josh, but it's one of the the best shows in the state. Like people,
cool.
People very much look forward to the show. It's because it's very number one. Usually, it's always packed, and Jeff does a great job booking it. The crowds have always been good. I remember it was the first actual booked show that I got in Colorado. I don't know. If
Oh,
you
cool!
remember
I
that.
did not know that.
Yeah, that was my first paid set in Colorado.
And you'll be headlining this month.
I
at
know.
The show, so.
Kind of wild. 'Cause I've
What
been
a
here
journey.
Been here for 2.5 years now.
Been living in here.
God, I think that's how long ago
in
we
this-
started the show.
been living
about-
in one of
Yeah,
these
I was gonna
barrels for
say,
2.5 years.
I mean, we did our first one the end of last month, which has been the first one since
since the shutdown.
February.
Yeah, since February.
of 2020. But we were doing it for at least a year and a half before that.
Yeah, definitely. Time goes by so fast. And that
Yeah.
year of the blip, as I like to call it, it's almost like you can forget about that was a whole year that went by.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But I've ran shows all over this town, and this is by far the best room, and this is the only show I'm going to do in town anymore.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go back to Chillers?
Chillers is closed, and the owner died. So
Talk about a nail in
Murder mystery.
Yeah.
Sounds like a murder mystery
talk
to
about a
me.
nail in the coffin. Jesus.
yeah, they got shut down by the city. So that was kind of an infamous show. People loved it for how crazy and
For
weird.
how lawless it was.
Yeah, lawless. I remember my favorite was there's a comedian from Texas. Can't remember her name right off the top of my head, but she got in a fight with a handicapped woman after the show, and it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. It was so cool.
Yeah, Christy Buckley does like to pick a fight after a show.
Yeah. What's her? This lady had a staff, a big stick, and she was just swinging it. Ariel Kaplan, I think it was.
Oh man.
Oh, whoa, yeah. Wild. The drama, the
It was
gossip.
hilarious. But that was Chillers. But no, this show is just a great crowd. We have a really just great group of people that come here and are regulars here.
totally, yeah.
And so it's not a very rowdy crowd. They're very respectful. They enjoy comedy and they kind of know the rules, you know what I mean, of comedy. Like a lot of other places I've ran shows at, it was just people like we're in a zoo.
Yeah,
they
don't
did not
give a
know how to
shit.
behave during a
Yeah,
comedy
yeah.
show.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Josh, have you ever tried your hand at stand up yourself?
No, I have not.
No?
No.
Good for you.
No, I'm way too scared.
And
I
that's
think
why-
you guys are
I
really
prefer
brave
it
and
that-
awesome.
And that's why
Yeah.
you're successful and own your own
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
I play in a band. I'm the lead singer. That's about as
Get
far as
outta
I
here.
go. But you
Yeah,
can't get
they're
up.
kick-ass.
But I'm not there by myself. That's
What kind of band? What music do you guys
we're
play?
blues and rock.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it mostly originals, mostly covers? What do you got?
about half and half.
Okay.
Yeah, about half and half.
Black
I mean,
Powder
we-
Machine?
Yeah,
After you
Black
chug
Powder
this beer,
Machine.
we're probably gonna have you scream a tasty lick for us.
The town has been missing him for sure.
Yeah, are you guys are you Loveland famous, if you will?
Yeah. I mean, we just the city does. Last year they were doing a weekly shutdown of downtown. Basically, we played a bunch down there, and we just did a show last Saturday for the opening. There's a new area called the Foundry down here. There's a stage.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Down here, and they're doing it once a month instead of every week because they can't afford to do it every week this year. But we got to open up the Foundry,
that's
the
sick.
dine out.
Yeah.
So we played last week. 3 hours,
Oh, hell yeah, man.
which is pretty brutal actually.
Yeah, that's
That's
a
a long
lot.
time.
That
Is
is
that
a
the first
lot.
set you've even had back in a while?
That was our first set in 7 months.
First set in 8 months.
3
and it's
hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Did you guys
it was
get a break?
brutal. Yeah, we took like 10-15 minute breaks in between.
Just doing
Played
crowd
about
work in
50
between
minutes
songs.
and
Just
yeah. And
all
we
right,
went
everybody.
A little past 9.
And then you get
which was
Jeff
all
up
right.
there. While you all go do some sniffing salts in the back, just like we got to get through this, guys. We can do this together.
Go hold on to him for 5 minutes, and we're gonna.
What's
we'll
the
do it.
what's the rock outfit? What do you got?
All black. We go
All black
Yeah.
denim, black.
How hot was it when you did
Yeah.
this?
It was actually that Saturday was, or was it 2 Saturdays ago? It was the cooler Saturday. It was
That's
like
good.
64,
Yeah.
65.
Now we're not talking like Steve Jobs turtleneck, right? We're talking
No.
okay.
I was at
T-shirt,
a,
jeans, black jeans,
oh, yeah.
denim,
I was at a dinner last night,
black
and
T-shirt.
there was a person sitting at the bar, and from behind they looked like Nikki Sixx, like tattered jeans, white blazer, bandana, like gnarly hair, and I was like, oh, it's Nikki Sixx. And then I turned around, or she turned around, and it was like a very fashion-forward girl, and I was like, your fashion is fucking like
Unbelievable.
You look like you're in Def Leppard right now. Like, how is that fashion these days? What's going on?
I don't know, man. All the crevices in Colorado between like the big cities. There's some
Like
weird like
hair metal.
yeah,
Well,
but
you
it's like a
see-
biker kind of like freedom, rock and roll kind of life look that people have. You know, it's farmers, roadhouse people. I don't know. Like Colorado has way more of a diversity of white people than it gets credit for in terms of like the different levels, if you will.
Well, the new fashion thing that I think is amazing is that, like, if you go to a Target, it's the Laura Ingalls look. It's
Oh, okay.
huge right now.
What's the Laura Ingalls look?
Big farm dresses and oversized, just everything. Everything
seen
is
that on
oversized.
Facebook.
And it
With
looks
a
literally
hat.
like you look like you're on the what was the show?
With a
House on the Prairie.
Simple Life with Paris
Little
Hilton.
House on the
and-
Prairie. Yeah.
with
Damn.
a
House
with
on the
a
Prairie.
full brimmed floppy hat with a feather.
Totally, seriously.
From
No,
a,
that is it.
from a
That is-
pigeon.
That is the look right now, man. It's so weird.
Wow.
Speaking of blowing it, I think that we should get some beer chugs going
All
on
right.
here.
Yeah.
I know. I almost started sipping this one, so
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
okay.
want. That's
yeah,
kind
you
of a
guys are
cheat.
too. We can get you
this is gonna
going.
hurt.
But I do want to go back and talk about music a little bit more because I find that really
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm a
that you do that.
lifelong music record store worker, so
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
got a
Yeah.
million stories about meeting people like Nikki Sixx. believe
Yeah,
me.
I'll break and talk music for hours. Be careful. We are on a time crunch today. Be careful. Albright.
No, I'm good. I'm kind of
All
off.
right.
I'm off my music knowledge right now. I don't really know.
Yeah, right.
Don't know what's
Aesop Rock.
But I know him. Yes, I do know him.
Great.
Was that the
I've
test?
actually met
That
him.
was
Yeah,
the
No, but I
ultimate
know
test?
him. Yeah, I know him.
That was the test.
All right,
I definitely know Aesop.
let's chug some
pass.
beer.
All right, so okay, what are we chugging here, Josh? Let him.
Yeah, let us know.
Well, we're going for gold. So this is a Doppelbock.
You are trying to
It's
crack
double
the
bock. This is German style beer. They're basically, I think their highest standard style beer. This is 9.8%. So this is very malty lager.
Doesn't
look
still
caramel
malty,
sweet, yeah,
caramely
a little more
sweet,
dry.
biscuity.
I had
Dry.
one sip and my face feels warm. So
Ready to burn.
It
All right.
doesn't look very carbonated, which usually helps.
Just to keep everybody informed, let's see. All right, so you didn't update the leaderboard from the last time, right?
No, I started working on it today, and then.
Okay,
somebody
so
came
just so
over.
you're aware, we'll give you the top 3 times, and then we'll give you the. That worked.
You work at a brewery, huh?
What an excellent pour. He owns one.
Okay, yeah. I
The
can
difference
tell.
between the beer tender and the brewer. He's used to
Yeah.
he's used to doing that out of a pigtail.
it
on a-
is.
on
I'm
a
not gonna lie.
bright
It
tank.
is fun. I love when all the dudes and they're great guys. They were the best. They make the best beer in the world. But when the guys from the back come out and pour a beer, and they get so flustered and embarrassed by like the amount of head they get, and they just like run back to the back with it. You know, it's just like you can ask us to do it for you.
And they're like, yeah, they just like run away in fear.
yeah.
They're like,
They
I
don't
make
know
it.
what
There
to
must,
do.
there must be something wrong with these faucets.
right, totally.
Yeah, right. I think it's a user error. So we're going to give you guys the top 3 times so you know what that is, and then we'll give you the 10th best time so you know what at least the bare minimum is. And we have how many chugs at this point?
118, 19.
119. There's a lot. So there's a lot at stake here, and we have a pretty healthy sample size to work off of. So the top 3 right now, because they had 3 seconds taken off of their time, being over 8%, is Chris from Transient Brewing at 0.35 seconds, Matt from the Pint Room at 0.62 seconds, and then Mike from Outworld Brewing at 0.92 seconds. And then
Should we have brought like Nick in for this maybe, or who would be?
You got to figure that's like, so that's 3.98 is the third best. It's not.
Okay.
3.98 because they got the 3 seconds off.
And Albright, from the past experience, I know Albright can slam a beer.
Yeah, Albright's pretty good.
I
You
felt
did a
good about
job.
my time, and then I saw there were like 7 people that beat me in tournament. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like,
It
I
was a
was like, I
stiff
felt really
competition. That came down to the wire. I'm happy with the way that turned out for sure.
So we are going to have you go at
Chunks aside.
separate times.
Yeah, I might stand. Can we stand up?
What's the 10th best time? Just so they know like what to at least shoot for.
The 10th best time was changed. It was Eric from Main Stage at 1.33 seconds.
1.33.
I just can't even think about that. Okay, are we allowed to stand up?
Yeah,
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You guys already poured it into pint glasses. I know
Like,
you were
I'd
trying to be
expand
like, well,
my-
we only pour this one into 10 ounces. I'm like, well, for this show, I think we can deviate away from standards.
Josh, let's have you go first on this one.
All right, here's the way it works. Steve, you're gonna touch. As soon as you start drinking the beer, Steve will start the timer. As soon as you're done, he will stop it. We're probably gonna roast you in between, as long as you give us enough time to do so. And then immediately afterwards, you have to tell your joke. That's usually how it works.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So don't think too much about the joke right now. Just focus on the task at hand. And I have a lot of faith in you.
All right.
Oh yeah, good old stand up, appropriate, nice.
I'm gonna not make the top 10, but it's gonna be fun.
No, you're gonna do great. And he's off and running. Better than he was giving himself credit for. A little bit of a bubble
Not
there.
bad.
Ah, he was good though.
That was good.
It's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Pretty good.
You went wide mouth. You went big smiley face.
I've seen that
You got
method
a
from a
burp. Please do. Yes, that's what we want. That's what we need on the show.
Woo.
Yes, buddy.
Content.
No chunks.
No chunks, just burps and a joke.
Well, I only tell dad jokes.
Perfect.
My favorite kind.
So, how do you tell the difference between an oral thermometer and a rectal thermometer?
How?
By the taste.
Gross.
That's great. I love that.
There you go.
All right, restart the clock. All right, we're going to
Getting
have
up.
you do the same thing. Instead of telling us a joke, you're going to tell us a story about bombing. And don't pick the one that you picked in Trinidad because you already did that one.
Looking pretty good.
Pretty good.
Got that ball
Solid.
and Star Wars shirt on right now.
Not a drop spilled, and it's all in. Oh, wow.
Clean. Impressive.
Much cleaner than I did.
How you feel? Good. Ready to go pick the kids up from soccer practice?
Good.
Or go coach soccer? Just chug a Doppelbock, show up to the soccer field and be like, fuck, kids, you're doing it all wrong. Let me show you how to do it.
Yeah. I'm going.
Yeah, dude, you got another bomb story for us?
I mean, I've never done it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah! Keep the dream alive. I like it.
I'm just gonna. I'll say this. I kind of bombed as a producer the last show here. I'm
Really?
not gonna lie. The mic cord. I had 2 different mic cords that kept falling out, and it just became this kind of ongoing situation with all the comics that I'm running back in between their sets, trying to switch the cord while they're doing their mics. They're
Yeah.
screaming their jokes out. So that it was a definite bomb last week for me
Sometimes
as
that's
a
not your
producer.
fault, though. Sometimes that shit just happens.
No, but you just feel it. You feel like the
Yeah,
whole crowd
yeah,
is
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"This, you're the guy putting on this show. Get your shit together." You know what I mean? I bombed plenty of times doing comedy. I tell bad dad jokes, and I
Well,
don't.
it's
I don't
awesome.
write. You know what I mean? And I'm the first one to admit I half-assed my way through comedy. I'm not gonna lie about that. So I bombed plenty of times.
Steve.
I guess that'll do.
I don't know. I don't remember specifics, man. I mean, I haven't.
No, we're not.
Nothing at Chillers. You never had any incidents at Chillers.
No,
I feel
man.
like
They
everybody
love
has
me.
Everybody has a Chillers story.
They love me. So, I mean, I watched a lot of shit happen at Chillers, but
remember I
the
talked
crowd
to-
really loved me there. So I never.
Yeah. Yeah, you were their hero. You're the anchor.
I mean, I
Like,
guess
they knew
one
you were the
time
familiar face.
I said shit at the clean contest at the South Club.
Yeah.
And I was
like
I was having a good run, man. As soon as I said shit, the crowd, like, in unison was, oh.
They knew.
They knew, man. And people up there like, man, you had it. You were probably going
I
to get
love
it.
that though. There's times like those clean contests, especially. It's like if you accidentally swear, they're either like totally against you, or they're like, "Fucking finally, somebody did it."
Yeah, no,
Thank God.
I got it. Like the full pack crowd. I mean, this is way before COVID, and just all in unison. And it just, I felt all the air come out of the room, out of my head. I mean, I was on a roll.
But, like,
having
I
a good
also
time.
got DQ'd from the clean comedy contest. I didn't swear, but I did talk about drugs.
Yeah,
You got
you're not
DQ'd?
And I have a joke about deep throating Starburst. And
Right.
it's not, you're not deep throating a dick. It's Starburst.
Word.
So it's just like,
I
it's
think
like
deep
the
throat-
word deep throat is only applied to one thing usually.
You think of the porno. I mean,
But I had a great set, and then I went up to the guys that were judging it afterward, and I was just like, "What'd you think of the set?" He's like, "Well, it was awesome," and I was like, "Am I disqualified?" He was like, "Absolutely, like of course you are.
Yeah.
You were literally just talking about mushrooms, cocaine, and deep throating candy," and I was just like, "Yeah, I guess that's."
I remember everybody in the green room trying to like solace me and were like, "No, man, you can get one in there. I think you can get one." You know, I was like,
Yeah,
no,
that's sabotage,
no."
dude.
Yeah,
That's,
it was.
They were
It was
taking you down.
They were totally taking me
That's
down.
funny. Yeah, I mean, I've definitely seen people like slip an F word in there, but they did it right, and then they still move on.
Yeah, I did it because I was having a really good set and I was feeling it. You know what I mean? And I was
yeah.
energized and I was like, "Oh shit, this is," and I was.
Josh, where do you land on contests for your beer? Because I think the old adage when I worked at breweries was essentially, and I think it probably works the same with comedy, is that they only matter if you do well, and then if you don't do well, you're just like, who cares about contests? They're subjective, right? Like it's
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I like to say we got fourth place.
Yeah.
You won a bunch of medals.
Yeah.
already.
yeah, because that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I
like,
mean,
so
we have and we haven't. So it's, you have to take it with a grain of salt. I've done judging before. I know how difficult it is, and it's like I mean, I don't like to do it anymore. I haven't done it for a while because, I mean, sit in a room for hours and hours and just taste beer and have to critique it and write all this stuff down.
Yeah.
It's like writing your feelings
many
down
imagine
about this
sitting-
person's beer.
Sitting
Yeah,
in a
and
room
that's
for
their
hours
passion.
and hours watching bad stand-up.
Y-
That sounds
yeah.
worse.
It's like a comedy
Yeah,
festival
and
submission.
sometimes it turns into that because you get a lot of bad beers in a row. And it's
Oh, yeah,
like,
there
come
can
on,
only-
and
I
you're
mean-
waiting for a good one, and then you get a good one, and then it's really awesome. But
Do you have to
some people
finish-
really love judging, and I appreciate that there's people that do it. But
Do you
I,
have to
I
finish
don't.
the sample they give you?
No.
Oh man, see, if you're judging a comedy contest, it'd be so nice to be like, next.
Yeah.
I'm
all right.
no thanks.
No.
Not for
Spit
me.
it out in the bucket.
Yeah. What are the most number of submissions that they will have you do for like one session? Because I know it's something like GABF, they have for one category they'll have multiple people judging it, right? Because it's just too many for
Yeah.
one person to really do.
Yeah,
So, like,
multiple sessions, sometimes over multiple days.
yeah.
The big categories, the IPA categories, and the barrel aged stuff categories are always in the higher categories, and so yeah, those can literally take like 3 days to get through them.
And that's kind of what we're known for. Some of our barrel aged. We've won a lot
Barrel-aged
of
stuff,
like a couple gold medals, right, for the barrel aged stuff we do. Yeah, the barley wines.
Yeah, what's the most you've had to do in like one session?
Judging?
Yeah.
Usually it's not more than about 8.
Okay. I
in a
guess I just
session.
anticipated it
I've
being more.
never judged for Great American Beer Festival. I never made it to that level.
Okay.
I've only done like smaller competitions, a ton of homebrew competitions.
trying my
Yeah.
homebrew.
So usually you get about 8 at the most.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there ever a category? Because are the categories assigned at random, or do you get to pick one?
Random.
What's the one that you just hope you don't pull? Because you can understand that these are stylistically good, but you personally are like, fuck this.
Honestly, as much as I love IPAs, but IPAs are hard to judge because your palate gets just
It
throttled.
just gets worked, yeah.
Sours, I have a hard time drinking a ton of sours, and also they throttle your palate too. I mean, taste a bunch of sours, and so IPAs just wreck your palate, and it's hard. Those first two, if they're good, and then you come back to them at the end. Were they really good? Man, I can't tell anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard
Wow.
to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can never
So-
give anything a rating off of the first sip.
Yeah,
Like,
so
gotta
I would
come
much
back to
rather
it.
just, judge a malty beer of some kind,
A
or a
malt
lager,
contest.
Pilsner. I mean, Doppelbock,
Yeah.
Maibach,
Give me your caramel,
Pilsner.
your chocolate.
Yeah,
your,
those,
your grain.
those to me are at least palatable. You don't get fatigue.
What were the competitions that you're like most? What are the wins you're most proud of, and what are the losses you're just kind of like, what the fuck happened there?
I think the most proud of was the first year we were open, the first year that we, or the first time that we entered the World Beer Cup,
Yeah.
which is a world competition. Every other year it happens. We won 2. We were just barely open in 2014.
That's got to be a great feeling when you first get going and you win 2 gold medals at the World Beer
Well, it
Cup.
was a silver and a bronze.
Okay.
No
But
gold, to be
medals,
fair,
yeah.
but still, that's really hard. And so that was awesome
Better than
because
4th.
I didn't even go to the I didn't even go to the award ceremony.
Oh, you're really big.
Sadly,
really
because
big
I was
time the
like,
shit
we
out
had
of
no.
them.
I'm like, we're not gonna win anything. Why would I?
newbies, yeah.
Why would I even go? I'm just gonna go do something else rather than sit in a huge auditorium for like 3 hours and then be depressed.
What a real
I was like, we have no
Cinderella story.
chance, and then we won 2. So I didn't even go to that award ceremony.
Every
so
time your name doesn't get called, it's like a kick in the dick. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, again.
Wow,
Yeah.
they're probably like Verboten
Yeah.
big timed us.
Yeah.
New kids on the
These
block.
fucking prima
Yeah,
donnas.
didn't even show up.
Speaking
So-
of competition,
Well, what are the losses? Like, what are the ones that you're like, what the fuck? How did we not?
I would say probably last year because it was COVID, and for JBF, normally it's 4 to 5 beers. Last year, because so many less breweries actually entered, and it was just the competition, not the festival.
Yeah.
Similar to this year
Yeah.
too. This year we can do 5, but last year we could do 10 beers, and I entered 10. And we didn't win. So entering 10 beers, I was like, yeah, we're gonna win
course you
something
get
this year.
something,
Then we
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
So that was just about, and I still know how difficult it is to win. But man, we entered 10 beers, and so that was kind of like defeating.
What was the one that you were like, we were shooing? Because I
none.
would compare this
No.
almost to like a joke where you're like, if things aren't necessarily going your way, you've got a joke that you know is going to get the audience back. And then
Yeah.
if you tell that and it doesn't work, you're like, I don't know what to do now.
You're bombing like Albright.
With beer competitions, I would say I'd never expect to win a medal. I'm just
Okay,
happy when
yeah.
we do because I
Same.
know I've done some judging. I know a lot of judges, and they talk a lot about it and how hard it is. And so I know how lucky. You just have to be lucky. I mean, you have to have a good beer for one, but honestly, there's a lot of good beers. Commercial breweries make a lot of good beers. There's some bad ones out there too at a commercial level. There's more good beers than bad beers, especially when you're looking at like, barrel age categories and some of those categories, which we mostly enter. Most of those are good.
Yeah.
So you just still have to get lucky. You have to have one judge that kind of just really likes yours. You got to get through sometimes 4, 5 rounds and make it through those. You
gotta
got
hit
2 to
like-
3 judges, and they all have to like it and move it on. So you
Yeah.
got to get really lucky. So I never expect to win a medal, and when we do, I'm happy.
See, I actually am in a different camp than that. I think that it's basically a breakdown of 30% of the beers are good, 30% are okay, and then the rest of the percentage
40.
is 40%.
yeah, that's 40.
Yeah, that's fine. 40% are bad. Like I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
particularly care for them. Like it's it's so hard for me when I visit like a small town, for an example, to trust like anything that's there if I haven't heard of the brewery before. And a lot of times smaller towns can just get away with having a brewery there, and people just Google craft beer in said town.
Right.
And they just wind up going there, and they stay successful because of that. I don't know how you guys, when you travel, do you have a place like in mind that you want to go to usually, or are you willing to roll the dice on whatever is out there?
Have in mind.
Yeah, you already kind
You
of know.
usually
ahead of
kind of
time.
know. I mean,
I don't
been in the
travel.
industry for,
What if
Nah.
What
for
if you're
8
in
years.
Trinidad, Colorado?
There's some good ones.
I'm
out
mad I
that
didn't
way.
go check out. What was that brewery?
I'm sure
right
I'd
on
have
the-
to
There's
research.
Paradox there.
Paradox.
Yeah,
I'm so
Paradox
mad
is
I didn't
really
go
It's
in
really
there.
the only
It's just a
thing
tap room too. It's not
It's
even.
not that far
okay.
from the Springs, really.
I'm gonna be honest. There's only one competition in comedy and beer that matters, and that's the chugging contest. And
Oh, what were our times, by the way?
Yeah, we're getting to it.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, you're
Jumping the
fine. You're
gun.
fine.
I'm curious.
This is
to-
great segue.
I got a great buzz right now too.
Who thinks?
I'm feeling perfect.
Who thinks who did better? Who thinks?
I think Jeff probably beat me.
I think
was
I
so
thought you
clean.
beat me, but I had a cleaner chug.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely had a cleaner chug. There's no debate about that.
Yeah, quality
Quality.
for Jeff. Yeah, quality goes to Jeff. But I think time's gonna go to Josh if I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
Jeff, you came in at 6.6 seconds. 3 seconds off. That's 3.6. Not bad.
Not bad.
Oh, okay. I got the 3 seconds. That's
Josh,
right.
you came in at 6.13.
Ooh.
So you did beat Jeff just by an edge.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
to
close.
go.
We'll call it a tie. That was really
yeah.
close.
Proud of you.
6 seconds each. Yeah.
I'm not going to call
Where
it
does
a
that
tie.
land
You
in
guys
the-
can call it a tie. You can tell everybody else that works here that you tied, but
So you
I
got
know
a
the truth.
3.1
Yeah.
with the 3
I know
seconds.
the truth.
Everybody can get a participation sticker here if you want, but we know who actually won. But no top tens today. No top tens.
No top tens.
That's
That's
okay.
all right.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's get back to. I want to talk a little bit about some music stuff. So, Josh, if you're a lead singer in a band, that's pretty cool. Do you have any inspirations for your stage presence? And because I can't imagine you're in a rock band and you're just like standing with the mic in the stand, right? So, you got anything that you kind of draw from that you really
Or,
like?
yeah, like an inspiration.
Yeah.
Like a rock god that you.
probably a little more modern stuff. I really like the record company. I've seen them live. He's actually really good live. It's like 3 guys that sound like they're 5 guys.
Great burgers.
And so what I liked about him is he plays an instrument most of the time, harmonica or lap steel or guitar, but still has a lot of energy on stage. So
Okay.
I try to do that.
Yeah, I would imagine it'd be hard to have a lot of energy when you got the lap guitar.
Yeah, but he still does.
Unless
Ben
you're like,
Harper's
he's
a
still-
motherfucker.
I'm imaning him in like a wheelchair if he's trying to like
A
move
little
across
bit.
the stage.
Yeah.
While he's
It's just
playing.
shifting.
Yeah. He's just in a hover round jamming the
But,
fuck out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to have fun. Like, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
If we have fun and people notice that, like we hear that from a lot of people that come and see us, that we just look like we're having fun. So it's kind of a fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
just
The old Dice Clay
I mean,
stage
you know, we're a
presence.
very amateur band just here in local Loveland. That's pretty much
Hey,
all
being
we ever
famous in
play.
Loveland's pretty
and-
cool though.
yeah.
That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It is. It's. I'll go anywhere I go. Somebody knows me somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm
man,
Like, hey,
it's
Jeff, you're the
nice.
comedy guy. You're the comedy guy. I'm like, oh, cool.
It's nice
That's
when
awesome.
people come up
That
to
is
you.
weird.
I mean, I was at Ratio last weekend, and I had a couple people come up to me. They're like, "You're a comic, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." They're like,
Yeah,
we were
it's-
on the
it's
show.
fun.
We went to. We loved it. It was great. It
Well-
feels nice.
When we were in Trinidad, I was wearing my Verboten shirt, and a couple came up to me and were like, "Oh my God, Verboten! That's our favorite brewery. We used to live in Loveland," and they just saw the little logo on the back of my shirt and just had to talk to me about it.
Yeah,
it
it's
was really cool.
Yeah, people. Yeah, it's nice to feel like you're a part of something that brings people joy, and they
Yeah.
recognize you did a good enough job at it that they recognize you for it.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. So there's actually in comedy there's not an opinion it's from some people where they don't think you should laugh at your own jokes when you're up there. And I'm not saying that I laugh at a lot of my own jokes, but I definitely make a point to make it look like I'm having a good time.
Right.
Like
I think it depends on the comic. I mean,
I think-
when Matt Kobos does it, I find it endearing as hell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I love it when he.
I
there's-
like a little laughter.
But
I mean, I come to a lot of our comedy shows here, and I've hit some other ones here in town and a few in Denver too. And I kind of like it when there's just like a little chuckle
From the
Like-
comedian.
Yeah, from the comedian.
There's-
like, you know, just like you know,
A lot of
just
times-
little
Crawford
bit,
is
not like
another one.
overly, but I
Yeah.
just like they're enjoying that joke still. And I
There's-
know that most of the time they've told it multiple times, but they still enjoy the joke. And
Yeah,
it looks like they're having
that
fun.
goes back to that. Like, it just looks like you're having fun
Yeah.
up there, and I like doing that.
There's
I like
a-
it to look like
you
I'm
can
having a
tell
good time.
though when like somebody is like legitimately having fun, or there's definitely comics who use that little laugh that you're talking about as the key to letting the audience know to laugh. Then
As like a
like
crux
that
of it.
is yeah that is part of the punchline.
You're
It's
talking them into laughing with
Like,
you.
yeah, that's you say that as like you're kind of like Pavlov like you're training them to laugh at that little laugh every time. And comics do all sorts, like there's a comic who like shakes their head yes at the end of their joke, as in like,
Ooh,
you should laugh. Yeah, you should laugh at this. This is okay to laugh. But when comics are like legitimately laughing at themselves, that's my favorite. I love it. But you can tell when it's forced and when it's natural.
Really?
Or it can also be like a little. I mean, Chappelle does it as a tick. It's like he's making a mental note. Like he does that
When he does the
and he hits
bang.
and he bangs the
Yeah.
mic. And Deacon used to do something, didn't he? Wouldn't Deacon like he touch his back pocket? I remember, or touch his hip. I remember Deacon used to do something.
He would do something. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and he would give this little.
He would like do like a clap and then like a butt.
Yeah, it was like a hip
Weird.
thing, or he would touch
Yeah.
his hip. I
He
remember
would go
that.
back and forth for sure.
Mhm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
But I'm not a huge fan of standing in the pocket and just. I'm sure the same thing with you as a singer. Like you could technically just stand there and sing the song, or and we could converse. And for some people that works. For some people, being able to just stand there and tell the jokes with the mic in the stand, that's their thing.
Yeah.
I just don't think that's very fun.
I always thought of myself like that, and then I recently saw we have a wonderful photographer at the Comedy Fort, and Melissa, and I did one set a couple weeks ago on a Thursday, and she took so many great pictures of me, and I was like, I move around a lot, like I felt pride. I was like, I'm kind of like, I don't know, I just thought I was in the pocket guy, like I just stood there very stagnant, and then when I looked through the photos, I was like, all right, there's. You have poses and movements, and which is cool to see because I don't think about it when you're up there.
Because I don't do a lot of act outs, and act outs like if the joke happens to have some action to go with it that's intended, right? It's like always the same thing where it's just very similar to how you would tell the joke itself, but you're basically playing out a scene when you're up there telling it. And people seem to think that certain movements and certain facial expressions that I make are funny. And I make a lot of facial expressions when I'm on stage because I don't know. That's
I
just
do
what
this
it is.
one a lot on stage.
Yeah, a lot of the waves.
It's just kind of
Yeah.
like taking on a character, because when I sing, I kind of feel like I'm
Sure.
not really
You.
me. I'm kind of taking on a character.
There's a
sort
It's
of.
an
persona you're
extension
putting
of
on.
yourself.
Yeah.
But you have you can totally lock into that. It is very much like acting in that way, where you just like lock into this character that is either a more enthusiastic or just a more kind of energetic or what it happens to be version of you, right? That you might not be.
I'd like to touch on something what Josh said that I find really interesting. He said, I'm in a band, I can get on stage and do this, but getting in front of a group of people solo, as we do as comedians, and telling a joke is like still a stage fright situation for people. And I've worked in the music industry forever, talking to people in bands. They have no idea how we do it. Like, they're like, I get on stage all the time, but the thought of getting up there by myself with just a microphone, with no guitar to get behind, with no...
Craft beer as hell.
Yeah, well, just like, and I think it's amazing because I think they're amazing. Like when I see musicians in the band and what it takes to be a unified group and being tuned together and in time together.
Yeah.
To me, it's like that's way more impressive than someone just getting up there by themselves and talking about dick jokes. You know, what I mean?
always find the skill very impressive, but not the performance part very impressive. Because to play a guitar, very impressive. To sing very well, very impressive. When it comes to actually doing the performance, I'm like, okay, you're going up and playing a song, and you're gonna play the song whether people
same way
like
every
it or
time
not.
almost.
And you're gonna play the same way every time, as opposed to a set list in comedy. And granted, if you only have 5 minutes, you're kind of just running the jokes you plan for because you don't have a lot of times to pivot. But with the comedy set, let's say you're doing half an hour or something, there's so many times that you're going to have to pivot or address something that's happening in the audience or a reaction. There's just so much. There's a lot of mental gymnastics that are happening.
I don't fully agree with that for like certain musicians.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
yeah, I mean, like,
Well, if you're a jazz,
I was going to finish. Can I finish my point?
I mean, it's irrelevant at this point already in
No,
my
it's
mind.
not.
In my mind, yeah.
Well, that's fine, but you can give your opinion in a second.
Okay, well, somebody's got to talk on this podcast. Keep talking, Corey.
you guys sound like 104.3 The Fan right now, like D-Mac and.
But with my thing was the talent's there for a musician, but then you go up and you play your set list, and yes, you can of course pivot based on how if you think the audience will like a song better. But you go up and play the song, and regardless of whether it's going well or not in the song, as opposed to a comic, you would like pull the ripcord
Right away.
on a
Yeah,
song.
totally.
If they're not digging it halfway through.
I mean,
move
jam
on.
bands exist. Jam bands are a huge
Well,
thing
jazz.
for that
I mean,
reason.
Can't
Jazz.
just stop a
Jazz.
song in
Yeah.
the middle of it and go to
The-
the next
the-
one because I
I-
don't think people like this.
But,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
You guys really hate the
but
Foo Fighters,
bands,
huh?
I mean,
And then-
some bands know how to. They'll figure out how to transition. Like, there's musicians that can figure out segues on the spot, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? And, like, they can do one verse in the chorus, and if the song isn't going great, they can swing into the next one without skipping a beat. So, I mean, like, in that sense,
The jam band thing is right.
But
I
are
watched
they-
a documentary about the Allman
So are they?
Brothers the other
But
night, and
but
they
I
were
would say
totally
that
like
they're probably a professional musician. Is that maybe correlate to like full time professional musician? Is
And
that
comedian.
correlate to like a full time
I mean,
professional
I would
comedian? I
I
mean,
would
is that
say
kind of
maybe-
the skill level that
maybe
it takes?
semi-professional or part-time comedian, but it's still, I mean, essentially the same skill. I think it's more impressive to do it in a band, is what I'm saying.
To be able to
because,
transition.
Because the drummer really has to take over in terms of keeping that rhythm, and everybody else has to follow the drummer, essentially.
Oh,
But you
yeah.
can have a good concert without that happening,
Yeah,
as opposed to a comedy show.
without the,
If you never adjust during a set, if it's not going well,
I mean, I've seen comedians not adjust at all and still
They
crush.
push through it.
Still crush.
Yeah.
oh no, yeah, I don't know if we're matching up on like what the point of what I'm trying to essentially say is, but
Is it fair to say that there's way more successful musicians than successful comedians?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
I
fair.
know the pay rate's probably a lot different, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
that
NBA
too,
to
right?
WNBA, I would say. Different.
And, you know, the bands have to split it a bunch of ways, not even just between
True.
themselves, but like,
And that might be just simply because music clicks with everyone. where
Everyone.
Comedy might
Well, you
not
gotta
click with
figure
everyone.
gigs-
It's like
gigs
not
are
everyone
different.
drinks beer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get that.
Gigs are
Not everyone's
different.
going to like our beer. I get that. So we're not always going to get good reviews.
So I have a good story about music and beer.
Can I grab a? I'm
And me
gonna grab another
bombing,
beer,
by the
if that's
way.
okay.
Yeah.
What's your choice, by the way? What's on the menu right now?
I mean, my go-to is the hazy IPA. I mean,
Okay.
that's
Well,
my
what
favorite
beer do
thing
you
on
like to
there.
drink?
I mean, I
What
love
do
the
you
fact
like?
that you guys have a bunch of different lagers on right now.
Yeah.
I'm more of a crispy boy
We
myself.
still have,
but-
we have the Pilsner, which he had. We had the Maybach, which he had. We had the Doppelbock, which we chugged.
Yes, you did.
I think that's the lagers right now.
Okay, I might just go. I
Um,
might go grab a pilsner.
Yeah.
Okay.
will you give me the orange
Crispy.
one?
The Toso, that's our most famous. Thinking of something orange. It's our most
Everybody,
famous
yeah,
drink.
yeah.
everybody good.
I'll take a little Maybach, a little
Yeah.
10 ounce.
Jeff's like, I'm feeling
I'm
buzzed.
getting
Yeah,
hammered now.
Maybach, orange.
Orange.
I'm good. I actually have to leave in about 5 minutes, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all right, you're flying solo.
I'll finish
Yeah,
it up.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
Well, then, if
land,
that's the
I'll
case,
land this
if
plane.
that's the case, I'm just gonna hang out until you got to take off.
So you guys edit the shit out of this, right? This isn't a free flowing. We don't edit my podcast. We just
Oh, no, we
everything
don't.
We usually
gets
don't
recorded.
either.
No, we don't usually
Yeah.
edit.
But I have a great story about. So I worked in the record industry, not industry, like I worked at a music stores for 20 years, and we had Ben Harper in at Twist and Shout to do an in-store, and he had I'd say like a cooler and a half, 2 coolers full of craft beer that was for him.
Yeah.
And it was my first time working in in-store, so I drank all of Ben Harper's beer. And we were partying. No one seemed to care or notice. You know, it was like one of the biggest in-stores we ever had. I literally drank all his beer, rode a bike home, wrecked it, rolled a blunt, rode the bike back, dropped the blunt on East Colfax, had 3 people helping me try to find a blunt on East Colfax.
Oh, God.
Got back to Twist and Shout, and with more like Miller High Life. I don't remember what it was, but it was a great night. But then the next day, Ben Harper's manager wrote a scathing, like 3-page letter about me and my behavior, and about how I drank all of Mr. Harper's beer
Mr.
that was
Harper's
saved
beer.
for Mr.
What was the
Harper
beer?
after the show. It was, I think it was like a mix of Sierra Nevada. It was like Celebration
Okay.
Ale
All right.
and
It's all
their
craft
pale
beer
ale.
drinkers.
It's
Can't
NA
blame
beer
it.
that
Yeah,
he brings
I
back.
mean, obviously I was
Can't
hammered,
blame
man. But it was my first working in an in-store, and believe me, I worked at that place for 13 more years, so I didn't get fired or anything. But it was just, that was my first experience, like beer, famous person, getting in trouble, story.
Yeah, that's fun.
Ben Harper's manager writing a huge letter about me.
That's a great bomb story.
Yeah,
I love that.
I bombed at work that night. For sure.
Also, like the
that's-
idea of finding a blunt on Colfax, like a dropped blunt.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
like all the other
full-
things you could
freshly
possibly-
rolled.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I'd hit it like one time and then dropped it.
I'm just thinking of all the other potential things you could pick up on Colfax that you wouldn't want to.
Dude, I was riding down East
Yeah.
Colfax with a
Needles,
12-pack with a blunt in one hand and a 12-pack of Miller High Life on a bike, like no hand riding.
So you were blending in pretty well.
I was, yeah.
You
I
look
was
like
your
every
typical-
person on Colfax, essentially.
Yep.
I have a Colfax story too, actually.
Go ahead.
Ooh,
I was
I miss it.
I was like 18. I went down to stay with a buddy. Just at his house. It was in the wintertime. We were going. No, I was older than that because we were going to the liquor store. So I had to be 21. we're going to the.
not
We're
necessarily.
we're
In the
going,
70s, I guess.
we're going. Yeah,
Sure, I'm the
no,
oldest
it
person
was
here.
in- it
I've
was-
used a fake
yeah,
ID
this
before.
was in the this was late 90s. Went to the. So we were going to the liquor store. It's snowing. This girl is walking down the street in the snow with her
Naked.
thumb up. Me and a friend. No, and so I'm like, oh my goodness, she was carrying a gas can.
Aw.
Pick her up, and she gets in. She's like, oh, so thanks so much for picking me up. Just take me down to the gas station down here. Get down the road. 30 seconds in, she's like, you guys looking for a date tonight?
Oh!
Yeah.
Did she have one eye? Did she have a glass eye? I might know this person.
Seriously.
If she has a glass eye, I
It's
might
like,
know her.
wow,
Yeah.
was this your whole gig?
Yeah.
I was like, no, we're just taking you
This
to
is
the gas
entrapment,
station. You need gas, right? Yeah, just take me to this one.
That's
I
a
think it
goddamn-
was
she's
her
an
stick.
entrepreneur, though.
That's her
That
stick.
is
Pretty
pretty.
good.
That is
Like,
her
I
stick.
think it was. Yeah.
Can you
And the
imagine
gas
getting,
can's actually just full
Yeah.
of fucking booze.
Would you
Probably.
imagine getting arrested, like
For
picking
now.
up a prostitute when you're just trying to help someone fucking get to the gas station?
Yeah.
And that's the likely
You boys need a
excuse,
date
huh?
tonight?
Well, then Denver cops are like, "Oh, you met Maud
Oh.
or Old Mary or whatever the fuck her
Yeah.
name is."
So
you know?
did you take her up on it or what?
No.
He's
no.
a
no.
He's like, no, I didn't have any cash.
She didn't siphon
any
your gas?
I was 21.
Yeah, it was mostly,
Siphon
I
your
was
gas.
poor.
it was mostly a cash flow issue more than anything.
Right than anything.
Well, how bad do you need gas?
Yeah.
Dude, I walked into a brothel in Spain.
Siphon out of a couple gas tanks right down the street.
I was in Spain, and with my little sister was going to school in Spain, and I went with my mom, and I'd go out by myself every night and just walk around looking. Literally at the time, I would look for a Guinness sign outside of any establishment. I'm like, all right, they serve Guinness. I'm gonna go in. Because I didn't know, I didn't speak Spanish very well, and I walked Guinness sign, and I walked in, and it was just this really long hallway, almost like Twin Peaks looking. And there was a guy in a tuxedo, and he checked my ID or my passport, and he opened a curtain and let me in, and there was 35 prostitutes and me in a bar. Dude, I was in a panic mode because I was like, this is insanely cool. You know, they're all wearing lingerie, by the way. All were wearing lingerie. And they all came up to me, American, American. I didn't even say a word. They knew I was American, probably because I was wearing like a full Columbia hat and a Columbia
I
jacket.
thought it was the red
Dude, I mean, we're talking early 90s. I had on, Dexter's and I don't know, whatever. But I panicked. I was in heaven, but I also panicked. And I was just like, what can we do for you? What can we do? And they were like swarming me like fucking zombies. And I remember I was just like, I just want to see what kind of vodka you have. So I became a vodka snob all like in a moment. And I
While
like
you're
looked
panicking.
and I was like, oh, you don't have my brand. And I like ran the fuck out. I was so, I felt like a kid. I mean, I was in college, so I was.
Especially when it comes to vodka.
You're a
Seriously,
Stoli boy.
dude.
We know you're a Stoli boy.
No, dude, I totally pussied out. Well, the thing was, if I'd been with a buddy, we were like backpacking
No
or something.
potato, no thank you.
But like, I was literally staying in a hotel with my mom and my sister, and I was like, do I want to come back to the hotel with my mom smelling like prostitute sex?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Oh God, I couldn't do it. You're a Mormon. I can't believe you even said that. You said yes. I'm
She wouldn't- here's the thing,
non-denominational,
is that
and
she
I could
wouldn't-
not do that.
She wouldn't know what prostitute
That's
sex
true.
smelled like.
That's true. My mom probably wouldn't have
She's
either.
never been near it.
Oh God. I will regret and remember that day for the rest of my fucking life.
I got kicked out of a strip club in Cabo because they tricked me into going in, and then I was like, I don't have any money, so.
They're like, get out.
But it was like the 10 seconds
sure
that
you
I was
do.
in there. I was like, yeah, woo!
Yeah,
Like, you need to leave. I was like,
Oh,
well,
You really lived it up for
saw,
about 10 seconds.
some tits, and I'm gone. All right. Josh, I know you have to leave, but before you go, we usually do a segment on the show where we bring up bad reviews, and I know Albright hasn't been working here for forever. So
Ooh, you're
God, I hope it's
looking
the
them
one
up. Is this something about me?
I really hope it's the one with the kid.
It'll be me for sure.
The children.
I'm a grumpy cuss.
Do it for the
I
children.
hope it's that one.
And how
No,
about
there's
that-
a review with a mom that came out.
How about
I
this?
was really disappointed that there were kids here.
I went to get away from my children.
yeah, that's what she put in
That's
a
eventually
review.
what it was, yeah. So if he doesn't read that, then I'd love it if you could share that information.
yeah, I don't think I have that one. I will read this one.
Got
This is from 2 years ago. Clarice Gallegos says, "This place is horrible. I honestly used to love this brewery until my experience tonight. My friends and I had just finished biking to enjoy a beer, and the bartender was ridiculous and turned us away because he thought someone was over the limit. Ha 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 ha! Hilarious since we just finished biking 30 miles. Bah ha ha ha!
They write out all the ha-has. by
This
the way.
place is a joke, or the bartender that served us at least. Wish I would have caught his name so I would let you know how rude this man was."
we write it on the chalkboard, so our names are always there. for
Do you
to-
really?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good. I like that.
Jessica asked me today. She's
I
like,
do
"You-"
remember that review.
My
I did
lady
see
asked
that
me
one.
today. She said, "Do you write your real name on the chalkboard?" And I was like, "Why wouldn't I?"
I think if I remember that, they
It was
were,
a very strange question.
Yeah, what kind of mischievous life does your
Well,
fucking
that's-
did
spouse
admit
Yeah, it
going
was
to
just like, why-
somewhere else
that's a weird
before
question.
here. This was not their first stop. They did bike long, but this was
Yeah,
not
it
their
was
first
probably a
stop.
Viking.
I do
No.
remember that
They
review because
also
we
sound
talked
like
about
they were
it. and they're like,
hammered while
Hammered.
they were writing
Because
it.
they also did get served. She does say that.
Yeah, totally. They did. There was a response.
Okay,
So it's
cool.
Clarice. We are sorry that was your experience. However, our staff is trained to evaluate and make calls accordingly. And if they believe they see signs of intoxication, they have a legal requirement to
Right.
refuse service.
$10,000
Yes.
fine.
And
That was
I-
my wife on the response.
good. Good.
I thought you were going to
Yeah.
say
I would have told her to pound
thought you were-
sand.
I thought you were going to say that was your wife on the bike. You're like, honey, you can't keep leaving us
You
bad
can't.
Not
reviews.
that time.
Yeah.
We're not. This isn't text messaging. You can't do that.
Right.
All right, I've got an Untapped review for an oldie that you guys did.
I'm glad these are all pretty neat.
hope it's a
so
sour
I'm not
one.
feeling any guilt.
Oh,
right
it's
now.
a pale ale, and it's called "We're in a Pickle, Dick."
Oh, this was a pickle beer.
This
It was a
yeah,
pickle pale
I would
ale.
hope so. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just say if it wasn't, this is terrible advertising.
Are they mad at the name? Is that?
I think there's a little bit of that, but then so this one's from Svetlana. Svetlana. It's 2.5 on Untapped. Beer with garlic pickles. I kind of like it. Then why did you give it a 2.5? Is my question.
Out of 5?
Out of
I mean,
five.
I guess it
Horrible.
depends on how strong you think that kinda is.
That's
Yeah.
pretty good for a beer that tastes like a pickle.
So is kinda a 2.5? Is that what is that what
Kinda.
2.5 is? Out of
Kinda
5?
can be
Yeah, it
anything.
feels.
I think that's fine. All right, and then the only other one I had for "We're in a Pickle, Dick." Again, not all these are like terrible reviews. I just always look for odd reviews.
Yeah.
Sometimes too, and it just says "Pickle Dick."
Well, we have a Maybach
awesome.
right now, and we had all these ideas for names, and we just call it Maybach. But Josh's was Rock Out with My Bach Out, and I was like, that is a good one.
That's pretty
So
fun.
pretty good.
Pickle Dick made me think of that.
That's pretty
So I
fun.
was like,
Rock
Oh,
out
actually-
my vodka is pretty good.
I do want to ask you. You did have a handful of lagers. 3 different lagers on right now. Do you guys? What's the normal kind of lineup look like? You guys? Is it mostly ales? Is it mostly lagers? Is
Mostly,
it half?
mostly ales.
Yeah.
We've kind of gotten into lagers within the last 2 years.
Okay.
is
we,
all.
we recently got a lagering tank.
Yep.
Right?
We have which is a
Nice. Oh,
specific tank to
thank
make
God.
lagers in, and yeah, we just
No, it's
been
always
something
funny
we've
when
been
they have-
talking about doing for a long time, and we just finally did it. So now we have lager yeast, and we
Yeah.
have the tank.
Hell
and
yeah.
So
Well, I say thank God because I feel like I see a lot of breweries that make lagers that
They
don't
don't
have
have
don't
tank.
have lager.
and don't actually like spend the right amount of time letting it lager and ferment and just rush it out so that they can have a lager available
Right.
for people,
Totally.
which is really
And
obnoxious.
we'll take you guys back there, or I'll take you. He's got to go, but
He's
yeah,
gotta go.
After
Where are you
the
gonna
show.
go?
I'm going mountain biking.
Oh,
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
You can do that.
he's
Cameron.
going to leave a Yelp review after chugging a.
You can do that with
He's
Winston,
like,
right?
I just chugged a Doppelbock, and now I'm on my bike, Verboten. I'm very upset.
Here's one from Kate M. from a
Ooh.
year ago. 3 stars.
Glad some ex-wife.
Nice.
Hey, I hear that K.
It
I'm
might
like, oh,
be.
God.
It might be.
Yeah, she did get remarried.
Jeff is a horrible person. No. Kate M says 3 stars. I just didn't find anything great here. I also wish they served some snackage. I have family members and friends that like this brewery, but I didn't see anything special about it. 3 stars because they might just not carry my kind of alcohol.
Vodka. They weren't carrying her brand of vodka.
Yeah, what is this, brothel?
This review is from Jeff. This is before he actually worked here.
Dude, we get some people. There's a divey biker bar next door, and we will get people walking in here thinking they're there, and they'll just go like, I need a vodka soda. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, you got to go next door.
You do have some reviews about that place. I'm not going to
The
read
Top
them.
Hat? Yeah.
Yeah, some people are upset about it, but
They're
whatever.
upset about
that
the
it's
Top
just
Hat?
there. It's just next door. I love the Top. I've worked some dive bars in Loveland, and I know all the regulars over there, so it's a great deal. Oh, you got to get out of here, Josh?
Yeah.
Josh,
Sorry.
thank you so much.
Where you
Sorry. I
where
had
you
these
riding? Man?
plans for we're riding up Kimnon Trail up Lori.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've
And
been up there before.
Upper Timber.
Nice.
And I have been promising my buddy I was going to ride with him for 3 weeks, and I haven't made it. And so I promised him.
Today's the day.
Today
No,
was the
I'd
day.
say
Last week I promised him.
You're better
and
off
then
to be
he's
consistent.
so
It's better to be consistent.
Right.
It's okay.
Sorry to
No,
go.
you're good, guys. We can actually just take a little bit of a pause while we regroup, but thank you so much for being on the show.
Hang out. I have Tomas get you some more beer.
Yeah, we got you.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Hey, all right, we figured it out. More beers on the way.
More beers, and it's getting busy in here, which
Yeah.
is really good.
We're gonna keep the bad review chain rolling, though. Steve, I think you got something, right?
Yeah, we have one more. Albright, you've been here since this time, so I think that you're more than capable of representing Verboten
I
for this
am.
review.
Comedy and beer-wise.
This is from 6 months ago.
I was here.
Steve Black. Somebody named Steve Black, and then in parentheses, Steve Black speaker. So
Okay.
they want you to know that they're a public speaker.
They're a motivational
Like, that's
person.
fucking special. Steve Black. Steve Black 6 months ago says 1 star. Came in to try them out. My friend got a sample, then ordered a 10-ounce beer. I asked for a sample of bourbon barreled beer, as they had one with vanilla and one without, and I was told that they don't give samples. I almost left instead, but ordered a 10-ounce beer, like $9 each. Then I asked again since we bought a product. If I could at least taste a few drops of the other one with vanilla so I can make an educated choice
A
next
few
time.
drops.
They again stated I could not have a sample.
Yeah.
Really? What would the simple cost be? 10 cents? I won't be back next or
That
due
is
to
something.
this.
We do not give samples of our very limited bourbon barrel aged
Of
beer.
course not.
Nah,
That
because
shit is
it's literally liquid gold.
pricey. That
It's
is
over.
expensive.
So we'll get people trying to order a 32-ounce crowler, and it's $35. So you're paying over $1 an ounce for beer.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Can I get a free splash?"
Can I get a free splash?
Oh, this
Yeah.
is only an ounce. I think most places
Yeah.
splashes are 2 ounces.
So that I'm going to say this now that my boss isn't here. Being a beer tender, I will tell you, 100%. No, the worst thing about being a beer tender is 2 things: splashes and fucking flights.
Yeah.
I have this
Oh, flights are the goddamn
Flights
worst.
suck.
if you this is
Odell?
gonna get weird. This may get a little un-PC, but I'm trying to be very. I just can't trust a fully grown 35, 40-year-old man who has to order a flight, who doesn't know what kind of beer he likes to drink.
Well, it's
You know
'cause he's
what I
on
mean?
Untapped.
And I'm just saying, I don't know why I don't think about this about a woman. A 35-year-old woman should be the same thing, but there's something about a guy who's 35, 40 years old and has to get a flight of fucking beer and just doesn't know what he likes.
Listen, if you want to just seat people in here too, you
Yeah, we can do it with
Yeah.
the noise.
Yeah, we can do it with
It might be
background noise
cool.
and stuff. Yeah, it's really not a big deal. If you got people waiting and shit, like, we're going to be done in like 15, 20 minutes anyway, so.
Yeah, come bring somebody that just ordered a flight in here, please.
But no, I'm with you.
really.
So I would rather just give me 10 or 12 ounces of a whole thing.
Try it
And
that
then
way.
or
Test
just
it that
get
way.
1 4-ounce and
4
then
ou-
try it. If you don't like, come get another one. But to get 4 in a row, and what it is we have to upcharge. Every brewery does on doing those because you're paying so much more to
Yeah.
get that flight.
Yeah.
than you would if you just ordered a beer.
It's time
And it's
consuming.
just time consuming, and
Yeah, they're
the
paying, yes.
dishes, and
Especially when you're
At
busy.
the new
audacity
Odell?
of somebody to order a flight when you're packed is fucking up.
Dude,
Dude,
at-
I'll see people look behind them and see 20, 30 people behind them and then order and then like ask to sample the beers
And then get a
before-
flight?
and then get the flight.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I would not. I would be like,
And
no
you're just sitting there and
samples.
I'm like, I have to be. a
You're just
good-
trying to get free booze at that point.
And
That's
I'm
all
gonna
it
do
is.
My job because
Yeah.
I'm an asshole. I am 100%. I'm just like a roll the eyes at you fucking scowl. Like you can read my ticks. You know
I'll
what I
say
mean?
this, Jeff, to make you feel a little bit better. At Odell, they do flights, but they don't have any glasses smaller than this one here. So when they do a flight, the flight is 4 full-size glasses.
That didn't even seem legal.
It's like a huge pain in the ass for them to like transport, like carry to
Yeah.
anybody.
Our flights are 1 beer, so it's 4 4-ounce.
Yeah.
Yeah. And usually, like people have trays. I assume you guys have like a tray to carry it. Flights and crowlers can be a nightmare too.
Yeah.
Especially if they all come in at the same time,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like there's multiple.
It should all be an awareness thing.
It is one of
Like,
my
if
favorite
it's
things,
packed,
though.
like you can't just impose that on somebody to stop service so that you can get a fucking crowler to go. Like especially
or 4 or 5.
yeah, I mean at least just order 1 maybe.
My
or
favorite
2.
thing is, and again, glad the boss isn't here.
Yeah,
but
it's all good.
we can here in house, so we can almost everything we brew, almost everything. But I will literally have a person come up and be like, I need a 32-ounce crowler of whatever, and I'm like, well, we have 4 packs of it right there, already canned. You know what I mean? You're getting more beer for less money, and they just rather make you do the work.
And it lasts
Well,
longer too.
I just want the crowler, and I'm like, well, you're saving money and you're getting more beer. No, I want you to make me a crowler.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, okay.
It's if you already have the prepackaged thing in house and they're still choosing to get the crowler.
Yeah, they just wanna
especially
watch you work.
Yeah.
That's the dickest.
Now
move.
I do love filling crowlers, and it is
You love it?
yeah, I do.
What,
Well,
you a
I like
masochist?
I like the art of it, man. It is a performance thing. So, and I really like doing it. People fucking love watching you can beer. It's like,
Yeah.
it blows their fucking mind.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
that's
do
true.
like doing it.
It's like the mystique of making a cocktail. What was I gonna say?
I hate
There
that.
was a response written for this review, by the way.
Let's hear that. It's probably from Angie as well.
The response, this is why I picked it. After a guy being upset about not getting free tastes, the response says, sorry you feel that way. This is not our fault as county COVID restrictions do not allow us for samples at the bar.
We weren't allowed to do that.
And that particular beer takes over a year to make and is quite expensive, especially this year. We are getting shut down again Tuesday. Thanks again for your review.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Just a
yeah.
fucking,
Yeah, I was
just
here
a
for
big
that.
middle finger.
Yeah, man. We weren't allowed to give out
deserved.
splashes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Because that is a point that we were made before. Is that especially with the barrel aged stuff, it's super fucking expensive. You don't have a lot of it. It takes an incredible amount of time to make.
Process.
And you're only
the
going to
amount- the amount of people it takes.
Yeah, and you're usually only getting anywhere between 8 to 12 ounces max of anything like that anyway.
Yeah.
So for you to steal like a 4 ounce, you know,
And the one
whatever,
they were
like-
talking about is a gold medal winner. The one that person's talking about. We have the medals in the other room over there, but that's a gold medal winning.
Is that the New Faces contest?
Nah.
Gold medal winner.
It won New
No,
Faces.
it's an empty envelope.
We
does
have a
have your name on
we have
it.
a doppelbock that's on the A list at Comedy Works now.
Somebody had to get promoted.
Oh yeah, you're telling me.
Dude, that's a bomb thing. Roger Hack told me the other day. He's like, "You're the person." I got promoted on the last new talent night pre-COVID.
Congratulations.
And Roger Hack's like, "You're the person." We kept wondering. He's like, "Who's the person that got promoted and went a year and a half without being able to do that set?" And I was like, "That was fucking me, man." So that's been pretty funny.
Yeah, dude. Before we get out of here, thank you so much for
Yeah,
the
hell
beers,
yeah.
the hospitality.
You guys as well. I mean, we've been. I've been wanting you guys to get down here and do this.
Oh, yeah,
Up here. and
You
do
know we
this.
love you,
Yeah.
and we're just like happy to be like part of what you got going on, and just be able to chat beer and fucking hang for a little bit.
Yeah, and it's just a great brewery. I mean, this is just people. This is one. I mean, we as comedians, we do a lot of shows in
Sure.
a lot of breweries.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
guys specifically, but I just love this place, man. This is a great venue. Great people, great staff. It's just like it's kind of like the best of what Loveland has to offer.
Totally. No, I feel
Sure.
that. Yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'm headlining the show at the end
Yeah.
of the month.
Hell yeah, you are,
Pretty
dude.
excited about that. The date on that, just for everybody, so everybody knows.
The town loves you, by the way.
Dude, I know. I tell
you did
Steve
a couple
on the way up
sets
here.
at East End, and you became like an instant fucking like legend in this town.
I was telling Steve
you and
that.
Stroop, man, they fucking love you.
In a
dude.
weird way, I've got a weird following in Loveland.
Totally, man.
Yeah, which I'm very grateful. I mean, that's your fault. I use fault very loosely. I was gonna say that's because of you, man. You've been very generous with opportunities ever since I got here, and I
dude.
can't even thank you enough for that.
No problem.
Stage time and just like just great vibes anytime we're hanging out. Good shows. Yeah, it's really a fucking total package.
Yeah.
What else? What's the date on the Verboten show?
June 30th.
Hell yeah.
Wednesday. It's the last Wednesday of every month.
Very excited about that. Happy to be back in Loveland doing a long set. Anything you want to promote, either for comedy or for the brewery before we get out of here?
I mean, just as far as the brewery, man, get on our Facebook page, our website, just so you can see the updated, like, what's coming out list, because we have some amazing things coming out.
I'd hope so with all the barrels.
Yeah, we have.
I think that something's going to come out of
Yeah,
them.
I mean, it's literally called, it's not even called Verboten Brewing, it's called Verboten Brewing and Barrel Project, because they are really into barrel-aged beers here. So if you're into barrel-aged beers, if you're into, what are they called? There's a word.
Barley
Wild or
wines?
No,
Barrel
Imperial.
Imperial, yeah.
If you're into any Imperial things, especially IPAs, get down here. I also work at the Comedy Fort. Hate to shill it, but you know.
Oh, yeah.
Comedy Fort rules. I bartend
That's
there, and if you guys don't know about the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins, because it's keeping it Larimer County. But yeah, get up to Verboten, get up to the Comedy Fort, and yeah, check us out. We got a lot of good shit going on up here.
Quickly becoming one of the best new comedy clubs in the country.
Oh
Oh, I would
Insanely
say
quick.
I'd say it is the best new
It is
comedy
the best
club.
new. Every comedian that I've seen headline, and I get to hang out with all of them, they just are like, this place is like hot fire.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's spreading like wildfire. So, Comedy Fort, Verboten Brewing, Loveland. We are the if you're into statues, what are we? The
Is this a statue capital?
No, we're considered the not statue. There's a word for, I don't know right now. I chugged a fucking
Monument.
Doppelbock.
Like art?
What is Luke
Sculpture?
Gaston doing? Sculpture capital of the
Sculpture,
world.
yeah, okay.
Yes, of the world.
Really?
Yeah,
Ah.
totally. I'm telling you.
I don't know if I believe that. Rapid City has like a president sculpture at literally every corner.
Yeah,
of
we
downtown.
have wild shit. There's frogs and dogs, and this is an insane town for sculpture.
It's not the integrity of the person; it's the quality of the frog.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
The quantity of the
Quantity.
Frogs,
There's just more
dogs.
frogs.
Check out our new frog IPA. No, I'm kidding.
Steve, anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Check out our upcoming shows. We got some new venues coming up real soon. We'll be at Wild Shanky Ciders. We'll be back at Welcome Home Brewing in Parker.
We've got a big one coming up at Woods Boss too.
Woods Boss. We've got a couple Woods Boss dates coming up.
You
And
guys are going to start like a brewery union.
no, I didn't.
Seems like you guys.
You can.
No,
run it for us.
I'm ready to unionize.
unionize all
Yeah,
the brewery
I'm ready
workers,
to
man.
standardize my health benefits from all these different breweries. If they
Hell
can
yeah.
contribute to that, I'm fine with it.
Station 26 and probably Gold Spot's going to be having us in there real soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but tonight we're over at
So-
Something Brewery. That's a once a month that we're doing with them right now.
Where's that again?
It's in
Something's
Brighton.
over in Brighton.
Brighton.
It's sold out, and a week and a half ago, if you're listening to this, so
Oh, yeah.
you can't come.
Yeah,
But
can't
you
come to
gotta-
this
next
one.
one.
Can't come to this one.
I got to show one more thing because like I record a podcast for over 4 years now. Or something like
Broadcast
that.
Geeks.
But the Broadcast Geeks. If you guys like geeky podcast stuff, check out the Broadcast Geeks. Me, Mitch Jones, Matt Oren, Jake Becker. Sometimes Nate Balding, but he's an enigma.
Oh yeah,
He
Yeah,
sure
check
is.
out the Broadcast Geeks.
can do.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank
Hell yeah, thank you
you.
guys. This has
Love
been amazingly fun.